The new Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer just dropped about a week ago, and there's a lot to unpack. So today, I'll be going over my thoughts, some theories, and kind of just spitballing whatever comes to my mind. I'm Rhinus Galore, thanks for dropping by, and let's swing right into this. The trailer starts with Spider-Man falling from the sky and getting into a fight with Scorpion. I know a lot of people have been saying they don't like this look for Scorpion, but I actually do really like it. The Scorpion design in the Insomniac games is a lot better though. I remember first seeing the concept images for the suit and really not liking it. There are a lot of similarities. The core design is more or less the same, but what we see in this movie is actually quite different. Even though I'd like him to have a helmet, I think the design works perfectly fine without it. During this fight, Peter's eyes turn full black and he goes complete rage mode on Scorpion, like he just performed 3 finishers on him in a row. It's really interesting to see what this mutation is doing to Peter. It's sharing some story beats to what we usually get with the symbiote arc in most Spider-Man media, like making him stronger, losing control, and making him angrier. A big difference that this mutation story has to the symbiote is that Peter is physically changing and has no control over it. Versus the symbiote, where he knows what's changing him and has the choice to remove it, but he doesn't want to because it makes him feel better. The symbiote arc is more of a story about addiction, while this mutation story seems to be something more like puberty, I guess. Which is a little odd because Peter is in his early 20s at this point. It does make me wonder how they'll go about doing the symbiote arc with this version of Spider-Man. I know Peter unlocking a darker side of him wasn't originally a thing that happened when he got the symbiote in the comics, but it's become a main plot point for that story now, and I personally think it makes the idea a lot more interesting and impactful. So there are other ways for them to do that storyline without having him unlock a darker half or whatever, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. I do really like what we've been seeing in this movie so far with that plot point. I think the director, Destin Daniel Cretton, is doing a fantastic job with the visuals especially. Props to the VFX artists. Everything looks amazing so far. There are some things where it doesn't necessarily look 100% finished yet, but this is just the trailer. We've seen some shots from the previous trailer that look completely different now. So by the time when the movie actually releases, I'm sure everything will look great. The trailer then shows us more depressed Peter Parker, because we can't get enough of that in this movie. Then we see Peter's transition from using web shooters to organic webs, which I'm still a little mixed on the whole organic web plot with this version of Peter Parker. I just really like the idea of him making his own web shooters. It's always fun to see Peter have to use his smarts to work around situations when he runs out of web fluid. And we haven't really seen much of that in Tom's movies, because this Spider-Man practically always had access to unlimited resources and technology that he got from Tony Stark. So I'm really hoping this organic web situation is temporary, but we'll see. The movie might win me over. I've already grown a lot more fond of the idea since the initial rumors. Pretty much everything that I've been kind of iffy on is very kind of iffy on. I'm really excited to see everything that they're doing. There isn't anything huge that I'm disliking. A lot of the ideas on paper, I was not a fan of originally, whether that would be with the rumors or leaks that we've had. But after seeing the trailers and getting a taste of how they're adapting these ideas, everything just looks almost perfect to me. All the original rumors where Sadie Sink could be playing Jean Grey in this movie, I was really opposed to it. But as the time has gone by, I honestly don't want her to play anyone else. And another thing that I was also opposed to at first was the inclusion of Hulk in this movie. Originally, I thought he was going to be kind of the MCU guest star like Doctor Strange or Tony Stark was in the other movies. And I didn't love the idea of them bringing back Smart Hulk, which does not seem like what they're doing. And I didn't hate Smart Hulk. I just think he kind of overstayed his welcome, or just didn't have enough Hulk in his personality. I like the idea. I just wish we saw the transformation from Bruce to Smart Hulk on camera, instead of it just happening off screen, but whatever. Everything we've been seeing from Hulk in this movie is peak. Absolute cinema. It's been so long since we've just had a angry, rampaging green Hulk. And the final shot right before the title card of this trailer looks amazing. I'm so excited to see how this fight unfolds. And the thunderclap, that's really cool. I hope at some point Spider-Man actually does team up with Hulk in this movie instead of just fight. Because even though I'm really excited to see them duke it out, I also don't want them to keep reusing this mind control Hulk rampage storyline, which is in a lot of the movies that Hulk has been in the MCU. It could really work with this story, but I just hope that this is the last time that we see this plot point for a while. Either way, really excited to see him smash stuff again. Speaking of Hulk, we get to see his alter ego Bruce have a really fun moment with Peter.
If you see me with this stuff, run.
Hey, he did what Bruce told him to. He run. Did he He ran. I'm actually really excited to see their dynamic in this film. And the part where Bruce finds out that Peter isn't actually one of his students is also really fun. Something I really hope they don't do, which is a really popular fan theory right now, that Hulk still remembers Peter as Spider-Man, which would make no sense in the MCU lore. Bruce and Peter have never interacted at all in any of the other movies. The closest they got was this bit in Avengers Infinity War.
Who's Scott?
Ant-Man.
There's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man?
And at that point, he was Bruce, or Smart Hulk, or whatever, not Hulk. So if that were to happen in the movie where Hulk remembers, it would just to be, hey, look, we did that thing from the comic books. No, thank you. Don't do that. It worked for the comics. I loved it, but not in this, please. Moving on with the trailer, I do like when Bruce says, how would he know what aspects are good and bad? Like, this is coming from someone who's turned into a big giant monster where on paper that could be bad, but he's done a lot of good with it. Another thing I really hope they don't do in this movie is Man Spider. That is just really not an interesting idea to me for this movie. I think it was a fun one-off to do in an episode of a TV show or an issue in a comic, but with this movie, I just want to have as much Spider-Man as we can, and if we have the Man Spider, it just takes more time away from Spider-Man to have a monster. Monster Spider-Man fighting rampaging Hulk could be really cool, but it would just be like someone took their action figures and are smashing them together and decided to make a movie out of that. Everything else with the mutation where his mind just shifts and he just goes rage mode or whatever, I think that is really cool. I want to see more of that for sure, but I don't want him to start growing extra limbs and turning into a spider human hybrid. Anyway, we see this hooded figure who I assume is Sadie Sink's character, who I hope is Jean Grey. Everything about her is very under wraps and secretive, so we really don't know much at all, but it's fun that there's like so much speculation going on with the character. I just hope we're not setting ourselves up to be disappointed, because if it just happens to be some other random character, I would be a bit disappointed because I think Sadie Sink is just such a fantastic actress for that part. We're just gonna have to wait and see. We also see this weird like pause time whatever effect going on, which if Jean Grey is in this movie, I assume that's from her. The effects of it look so awesome. During this part of the trailer, there's a line where this guy says, "You're the only one who's immune to it. You're the only one who can sense it." The trailer frames this in a way to make it seem like he's talking to Spider-Man, and that the threat is the mind control plot that's happening, which is interesting because one of the shots we literally see Frank also not be affected by it, and later in the trailer, this mind controlling character, I'm just gonna call her Jean Grey right now, is body jumping from person to person talking to Spider-Man and mentions MJ to him. So if Spider-Man is immune to Jean Grey's abilities, then how does she know that he knows MJ? I'm starting to wonder if that line about being immune is even said to Spidey, or if that threat has anything to do with Jean. The trailer could be tricking us. This is a Marvel movie after all. That's what they do. I'm spitballing here, but what if that line is actually said to Jean Grey, and she's immune to the threat going on in the city? She could be working for Damage Control unwillingly, and Spider-Man just gets in her way, so she seems like a villain at first. And maybe this threat she's unaffected by is the X gene, spreading around like a virus and affecting people, making them mutants. Damage Control, of course, sees this as a big problem, which they wouldn't be entirely wrong. A bunch of people getting super dangerous powers that they can't control wouldn't exactly be ideal. But the reason why Jean Grey would be immune to this is because she's already been affected. I don't really have much confidence in this idea. I already see some holes in it. Like I said, I'm just spitballing. And I don't think the mutant gene exactly spreads like this in the comics. It's not a virus. And I'm not saying the movies can't do something different. They definitely can, and they probably will. I'm just not sure how much they're going to want to change with that lore. It's probably more likely that Damage Control is capturing a bunch of these mutants that randomly keep popping up everywhere. Then Jean Grey is the only one that breaks out and tries to free the rest of them in a way that catches Spider-Man's attention. I'm no MatPat, but that's just a theory. I'm not going to finish the quote. The trailer takes a break from all this really cool stuff to show us Peter being depressed again. But for real, I'm actually really excited to see MJ and Ned back in this movie. I know originally during the gap from No Way Home to this movie, I didn't really want them to be a big part of this film, but seeing how they're being used, I think is really well done so far. We already talked about Hulk, but again, everything looks so awesome. I hope we get to see Spider-Man go all out on this fight with Hulk and just show us what he's really capable of. I don't think I want him to win this fight, at least not with his bare strength, but I want him to give a good fight. It would be crazy if he makes Hulk bleed. I mean, how awesome would that be? Moving on, I think it's really interesting that Spider-Man is having to take MJ to safety. Makes me wonder what danger she's actually in. And MJ interacting with the Punisher is something I never ever thought of, but is actually really, really fun. And I love the idea that Spider-Man is asking Frank to keep her safe and that he has nowhere else to go. Punisher and Spider-Man's dynamic is going to be just a blast. So many people were confused that Punisher was going to be in this movie when it was revealed. I loved the idea from the very beginning. I think Spider-Man is the perfect character where you can take an R-rated character like Frank and bring him into a PG-13 project. We've already seen in the first trailer that he's going to censor him from cussing, and I really hope there's at some point where Punisher and Spider-Man are working together and Punisher's trying to kill a bunch of these bad guys while Spider-Man is trying to stop these bad guys but also keep Frank from killing anyone. So Peter is working with and against Punisher at the same time. I think that would be so much fun to watch. One of the coolest parts of the trailers, and what will probably be one of the coolest parts of any Spider-Man movie ever, are the ninjas. Ninjas are cool. Spider-Man is cool. Whoever came up with that idea of Spider-Man fighting ninjas is a mad genius. This whole sequence looks amazing. Like the web tornado thing, that is awesome. We've never seen Spider-Man use his webs this creatively in any of the live action Spider-Man films. I know a lot of people have been theorizing that Daredevil could appear, Daredevil is in prison, Spider-Man is in prison, the Hand is involved, Daredevil has a lot of stuff to do with the Hand, but I really don't think that's going to happen. There was a time where all I wanted was this film to be a Spider-Man and Daredevil team up, but honestly, I think that's best for Spider-Man 5 or 6, maybe 7. We already have so many other supporting superheroes in this film like Hulk and Punisher and possibly Jean Grey, so I think keeping the rest of the film a Peter Parker Spider-Man story would be for the best. Kind of unrelated to the film, but we're getting this amazing suit in the Spider-Man 2 video game. It's kind of expected for Insomniac to add a new suit to their game once a new movie releases, but this still gets me so hyped either way. Anyways, that was the whole trailer. Thanks so much for listening to me yap for however long. I'm not sure. I haven't edited yet. Right now, I have over 32 minutes of audio to go through, so that's probably why this video is a week after the trailer dropped. But feel free to share your thoughts and theories in the comment section below. Would love to have a conversation with you guys down there. I've been Rhinus Galore. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. God bless. And I'll see you on the flip side. Bye-bye.